All glory to the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. 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 Arise, arise, arise. Children of Yah, Israel. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let us greet one another on this beautiful Shabbat morning. Hallelujah. Always in the beauty of holiness.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. tabernacle. I will trust in the cover of your wings. I will hide in your pavilion. In my danger, in my time of need, set me on the rock that is higher than me, oh yeah. Lead me to the rock. Who has strength like you in all of the earth? You have given me your strength for battle. Set me on the rock. You have been a tower for me, a shelter in my time of need. Lead me to the rock that is higher than me, oh yeah. Lead me to the rock that is higher than me, oh yeah. what will be in the end of days. Tell me what will be in the end of days. Tell me what will be in the end of days. Tell me what will be in the end of days. Tell me what will be in the end of days. Tell me what will be in the end of days. Tell me what will be in the end of days. You will hear a voice, nations will rise. Kings will fall, kingdoms will fall. Many turn away, many shall betray. Kings will fall, kingdoms will fall. You will hear a voice, nations will rise. Kings will fall, kingdoms will fall. Many turn away, many shall betray. Kings will fall, kingdoms will fall. Love will wax cold, prophets will lie, but he that endures shall live and not die. Love will wax cold, prophets will lie, but he that endures shall live and not die. What will be in the end of days? How long, how long? Tell me what will be in the end of days. Tell me, won't you tell me now? Tell me what will be in the end of days. Tell me, won't you tell me now? Tell me what will be in the end of days. You will hear wars, nations will rise. Kings will fall, kingdoms will fall. Many turn away, many shall betray. Kings will fall, kingdoms will fall. You will hear wars, nations will rise. Kings will fall, kingdoms will fall. Many turn away, many shall betray. Kings will fall, kings will fall. Love will wax cold, prophets will lie, but he that endures shall live and not die. Love will wax cold, prophets will lie, shall live and not die. I wanna know what will be in the end of days. How long, how long? Tell me what will be in the end of
your kingdom
No
come.
matter what I do in my life, you're there. Morning, noon, or day or night, you're there. No matter what I do in my life, you're there. Morning, noon, or day or night, you're there.
Holy Spirit,
Rain on me. Holy Spirit, set me free. Holy Spirit, rain on me. Holy Spirit, deliver me. Holy Spirit, rain on me. Holy Spirit, set me free. Holy Spirit, rain on me. Holy Spirit, deliver me. Holy Spirit, rain on me. Holy Spirit, set me free. Holy Spirit, rain on me. Holy Spirit, deliver me.
Holy Spirit, rain down.
Rain down.
Holy Spirit, rain down.
Rain down.
Holy Spirit, rain down.
Rain on me.
Holy Spirit, rain down.
Rain down.
Holy Spirit, rain down.
Rain down.
Holy Spirit, rain down.
Rain on me.
Holy Spirit, rain down.
Rain down.
Holy Spirit, rain down.
Rain down. Holy Spirit, rain down. Rain on me.
And Elohim spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who has brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and out of the house of slavery. You have no other mighty ones against my face. You do not make for yourself a carved image, or in likeness of that, which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the waters under the earth. You do not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I am Yahweh, your Elohim, and a jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers and the children, to the third and fourth of those who hate me, but showing loving commitment to thousands of those who love me and keep my commands. You do not bring the name of Yahweh your Elohim to naught, for Yahweh does not leave one unpunished, brings his name to naught. Remember the Shabbat, set it apart. 6 days you labor and should do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath, Yahweh your Elohim. In it you do not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male slave, nor your female slave, nor your cattle, nor your stranger within your gates. For 6 days thou made heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rest on the 7th day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart. Respect your father and your mother, so that your days are prolonged upon the soil which Yahweh Elohim has given you. You do not murder, you do not commit adultery, you do not steal, you do not bear false witness against your neighbor, You do not covet your neighbor's house. You do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male slave, nor his female slave, nor his ox, nor his donkey, or whatsoever belongs to your neighbors.
Yeah, you see him, he flew through that today, didn't he? Huh? Hallelujah. Abba Yah, we thank you for all things. We need you this morning. We need our spirit of our mind spoken to. To be able to comprehend your will and to do it. Help us here, Ruach. That's what we humbly ask this morning, is help us. Magnificent name of Yahshua. Hallelujah. All right, you may be seated. Let me, now the world wants me to be their marriage counselor. Nope. That's Elder Doug, man. They blowing up our phone lines. Everybody want peace, but they don't want to be obedient to Yah. Isn't that amazing? They counselors with all their degrees is not working. Amazing, isn't it? This word been around a long time, ain't it? Check this. I'm going to give you a scenario here, right here. All right, here's a scenario, okay? Everybody all right? Yes, sir. Okay. Listen to this. What this is an example, a real life example, okay? That happened right here in the United States of America. Okay? And this is how not to execute your own sovereign marriage in this form, okay? Y'all ready for this? His name, he just puts his initials, RB. He says, I had a sovereign marriage. I put everything in my wife's name. And as we started a business, because I was unsure of how unresolved IRS issues might come into play and effect, the vulnerable growth of the phases of our business later, she stole the whole business from me and changed the locks on the door. That was 5 years ago. An attorney said, go to the family court and get the marriage acknowledged. But they ruled against it, saying it was invalid. So I lost everything. Now, I struggle to get my life back together while my wife has run off with the business, quote unquote, worth millions, and married someone else in a state license ceremony. Is there no justice? No, it ain't no justice. Ain't no justice when you do things after the way the world tell you to do them. See, when we talk, it's so foreign to the world that we have a bizarre behavior. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Yes, sir. I got it from Dr. Johnson. It's a bizarre behavior. It's deeply and collectively embedded in the subconscious mind. Notice, collectively embedded. In other words, there are things that even just by you falling out of your mother's womb in this country, in this society, you automatically think like everybody else. Same rationale, same reasoning. Then you come to a ministry like this, the first time in your life you ever used your mind to think on Yah and his ways. Because religion sold you a bill of goods. Christianity just really lied to you from cradle to grave. And your grandparents, parents for them, parents for them, parents for them, parents for them. And nobody had enough intestinal fortitude and spirit to get up and challenge the status quo. And if they did, their voice was so mild, so null, that nobody could hardly hear it. And so everybody just goes along the same way that the rest of the cattle go. You ever seen cattle? If you see one walk, the other one's they're over here eating green grass. One just takes off and start walking his way. The rest of them that look up, they think they're going to miss something, so they just start following along. Next thing you know, whole herd gone. Even if they went to barren land. It's the most bizarre thing you ever seen in your life. That's how we done. We were birthed into a false idolatrous system of religious ideology and theology, not given to us by the first century patriarchs, but given to us by the 16th century and those thereafter. They imposed a religious system on us, and because, you know, my people, we was forbidden to read and write, because you see what happens when we know how to read and write, right? You get truth like this coming out. See what happens, don't you? And Doc, they can't have that. That's why he said, you don't let them niggers read and write. They do, they're going to get some ideas. They're going to think they're the people of this book. It's off the chain. It's off the chain. You get it? And so we go off into Christianity and we didn't question anything. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Silent night. Holy night. All is calm. Feel anointing? Mercy. Oh. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. Woo. And if you ever saw him, don't get me started, brother. You would even say it close. Only problem is we ain't never seen him. Oh, it's for the children. Leave it. Y'all, what's wrong with y'all? It's for the child. Okay, let me get this right. You have a child. You tell him, son, dog, don't you ever lie to me. But then you rear them in fairy tales. And you rear them in lies. If you put your tooth under the pillow, the tooth fairy gonna come. Won't you stop lying, tooth fairy? But that's all right. Keep the commandments. Stone them. Isn't it amazing? And we didn't question it. Get somebody to start telling you, hey, the real Messiah, he didn't do that stuff. What? Yeah, he didn't do that stuff, man. As a matter of fact, you want to meet him, go down to the nearest pub. Oh, no, man, when we take the Lord's Supper, grape juice. See how we done changed everything? Changed the Sabbath to the first day. No matter how many times we read it, it says 7. By the time it reads leave from that page up to here, it's done made it first. Hadn't it? Somebody said, well, I can pick a day. I said, well, pick any day but Sunday, see how you do. Since you can pick a day, let's see what kind of authority you got. And we never question it. Son, don't you lie to me. Don't you lie to me. What significance is it if George Washington chopped down the cherry tree? What bearing does that have on us? Y'all get this? They the ones that have gamed and toyed around with you. Not me. I'm not the institution that reared you in fairy tales and lies. Then if you try to kick against the system and tell them that you ain't going to do this, then they ostracize your children. Put them in a room over by themselves if you're in a public food system. Get them a little drawing board, some crayons or something like that. Everybody else is, ha, 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 ha. And he's sitting over there ostracized. And that witch of a teacher is giggling. Hey, mama, won't you homeschool? Well, we can't homeschool. Why? Well, it takes 2 incomes. Why? Why you asking me all these questions? Well, I'm just trying to help you out a little bit. Get out of my business. I mean, the greatest job in the world, in the universe, is a mother. Greatest calling. Greatest calling in the universe. I mean, the Bible says, train up a child in the way it should go. So that means send them to the public school. Because most of you want to send them to public school because you didn't train them up the right way and you want them out of your hair. Raise a bunch of little monsters because you forsake the rod. Now this child is spoiled. Talked to a preacher the other day. He says, man, we got a bad case of attention deficit disorder in the church. Man, I mean, I can hardly even preach. I said, what's going on, man? Children just going off the chain. They just hollering and screaming and blase. And I said, really? I said, well, what about you? I said, we don't have no attention deficit disorder. We get their attention, but ain't no deficit. Nah. He said, well, how you do that? I say, their parents raise them in the way they should go. I said, we got good children, man, always brand new newborn babes, all the way up, man. And you can come to our ceremony. They sit right there with us. They in children's church. You mean tell me they sit there? Yeah, they sit there. Unbelievable, isn't it? Been doing it for years. Look at them. Look. They act like they at what's that amusement park? Six Flags. In these churches. Unbelievable. We come to give you the truth. I'm glad you become scholars. That means that you're not going to allow yourself to be deceived and lied to no more. Isn't that beautiful? But is it not bizarre how strange truth is, though, when you hear it? I had a white brother up there in, which one? What was that brother? Tommy? Where's Tommy? Virginia? Tommy's in Virginia. He's on Marco Polo. And Tommy said, you know what I'm looking forward to? Y'all can confirm it's on Marco Polo, okay? Because everybody think I be making up stuff because it sounds crazy. Y'all ain't. Tommy said, you know, I used to sit up there and watch how these cops are killing all these black folks. And, of course, that is the thing that led me out of the Christian church because nobody had any remorse for what was going on. And he says, you know what I can't wait for and I long to see? He says, I long to see this melanated brown man come busting through the skies and for that split second to sit there and watch all these white folk before they hit their knees. Is that what Tommy said? He said, I can't wait for them to see it. I can't wait. I just want for the split second, I just want to be able to see their face. Them brothers be going in. They going in. See, when brothers talk like that, you know they know who the Messiah is. They know they're not Cesare Borgia. Faggots. Y'all see the emails I get. I don't even know how to answer them no more. I probably got about 3,000 emails backed up. I have had so much peace in the last few weeks. Can you believe it? I opened up one. I said, now I see the reason why I keep them closed. Y'all loves the homosexual. That's what they said. I closed it. Yeah, Jacob and Esau just brothers that had diametrically opposed each other, and he hated Esau, but he loved the homosexual. Even though he said it's an abomination and it will lead you to burn. Separate you from Yah. Huh? That's amazing, isn't it? What book is that one? I didn't never think that we would ever see the time that we're at right now. I remember in the 90s, in the early 90s, I would look, I'd go, man, I'd read, I'm at TTIU 24. I go, ain't no way. I said, we ain't there. We ain't there. I don't see this thing is going on Matthew 24 right now. Don't see it. Everybody started talking about the Oslo Peace Accord. Yasser Arafat and Yitzhak Rabin is going over to make a peace accord. No, they ain't. Then the 2000. Monty Judah, R.G. Stair, a lot of preachers jumped on the bandwagon. One West, they all jumped on the bandwagon at camp. One of them said, if Jesus don't come by the year 2000, I'm going to tell him to go to hell. They was arrogant. They were so sure he was coming. He ain't coming. And guess what? He ain't coming this year either. Or the next year. Or the next year. Or the year after that either. You don't know the day nor hour. No, I'm just giving you the years. You know what the book says? Well, tell us when he's coming. I don't know. But I know the season. There's a difference between day and hour. Because in the season, we're going to be in the right place. Isn't that something? We're going to be in the right place. In the right season. Because we know his calendar. And we won't be trick-or-treating either. Utterly amazing, isn't it? Why you keep going over all this stuff? You realize how many brand new people I got to listen to me right now? Right now. My subscribers jumped up 13,000 subscribers in almost less than 2 weeks. I'm looking at that going, what's going on here? Oh, what are you doing? I mean, really, heathens are calling, leaving messages with Elder Doug, wanting marriage advice. Am I telling the truth there, Elder Doug? Look, thumbs up. I'm like, heathens? I said, tell them to listen to me on Blog Talk Radio. We'll see if they go over there, then they start watching the videos, and who knows? I told you what my aim was. My aim was to pull as many Israelites out of the pagan Christian churches as I can. I make it known. What's your purpose? To get people out of lies and deception and get them to the real Messiah. Huh? You think about this. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little bit today, but you think about this. Y'all read the Gospels, right? You know that way over in Mizraim, our people saw the miracles, the signs, and the wonders. You know, we had prophets that always done that. Yahshua came and doing it. The emissaries, the apostles, they did it, right? All right, is that right? You read the book of Acts, you still see the same thing. All the acts of the apostles, is that right? You see all that, right? Get to the 16th century, everything's been relegated to salvation. And you set up in these dead churches where nothing ain't going on. Ain't never seen your pastor heal nobody. The book says that healing testifies that he's with you. Deliverance. Casting out devils. That's what the book says. You know what it says? Because you can't do it unless Yah be with you. Isn't that right? People argue over, his name is Yahuwah. I say, good, here's a case for you. Go ahead and call on him. If he answers, I believe you. If he don't, you just like them false prophets out there with Elijah on Mount Carmel. Go on, get your dance on. Amazing, isn't it? Y'all just don't play these rational gymnastic games that we play today. He don't. And they'll be the first one to tell you it works by faith. I said, you ain't got to tell me because everything I do is by faith. It takes faith to cast the devil out of somebody. When you are getting ready, if you ever approach someone, you're getting ready to cast out a devil, you got two things you're going to be dealing with, either faith or fear. One of them is going to be present when it's you up there. You up to bat? Didn't he not say, these signs shall follow them that believe? How many believe? You believe in the Messiah? He said, these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. Then you know what you got to deal with? People like James White who ain't never believed. Ain't got one sign. He said, it wasn't in the original text. Well, damn it, you can read throughout the whole gospel and see what the believers did. It confirms it. I'll write it. These signs shall follow them that believe. See, what they're doing is they're trying to rationalize and make themselves feel better for their inability to not be filled with the genuine Ruach HaKodesh, or the Holy Spirit. So somewhere along the way, theologians and theology and another nation has gotten into our book, repackaged it, rehashed it, and then come out with all this crazy junk we got today. That's the reason why you got Christmas trees in your homes. Statues and crosses all over the place. Amulets and fishes on the back of your cars and everything. Got the book right in front of you, just as dumb as you were when you didn't have it. Open up the text, read 2 or 3 passages, and spend an hour or 45 minutes, or 15 minutes in most cases, telling you about how to call the cows home. Or, you know, mama, she taught us how to bake an apple pie. Have you ever been to mama's house? I'm talking about Big Mama. You could hear the dinner call, but you smelt something, and that something got your attention. You couldn't wait to get finished with your meal because all that was on your mind was apple pie. Ain't it sweet? Ain't it good? Ain't he sweet? Ain't he good? Just like mama's apple pie. Come on now. Y'all don't hear me now. Is somebody going to go with me? Can anybody confirm the word? What word? Damn apple pie. You get finished with a Sunday. Boy, didn't he preach? Yeah, what he talking about? Don't know, but he preached. What in the world? You mean to tell me we that dumb? And then if you was in one of them white Baptist churches, you up, turn into your Bible, the text today. Some of you, you had no shame. Huh? As soon as he started, you were sitting in the seat, rocking steady. Sleeping deacons. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. And they call this circus going to church. Wasting your time. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He that sat on the circle of the earth, he mocks him, I mock him too. It's ridiculous. The way people have toyed around and played around with your soul. You see, if you do things the Israelite way, you don't have to worry about nothing like this, because both male and female will be chargeable to Yah. I mean, they act like Yah ain't got no power today. Oh, she ain't doing me right. Well, go to Yah. He ain't doing me right. Go to Yah. I mean, you've been so conditioned, if they don't do you right, you go to the state, don't you? Huh? Then who's your master? Oh, you mean tell me you got up in front of everybody and lied to each other? How can you build a solid foundation of marriage when it's built on sand? The Bible says, unless Yahweh build a house, they that build it, if they don't build after him, they labor in vain. That's what's going on today. Vanity. All is vanity. I mean, it took me almost half my life to figure out that life is about do it yourself. Some of you still ain't got it. You'll get it about 40 more years, 30 more years, 20 more years. But isn't it sad? And now, the sad epidemic of today is can't find a virgin. Can't find a virgin. Now, I got raw on my concubines one. I told you the type of virgins they call them virgins today, right? I ain't going back over that again, okay? That's what they call virgins. Ones that been defiled. And I'm not talking about by the act either. You get it? See, what we try to do is go just right up to the level, right to the edge, and then pull back. I don't see nothing wrong with doing what the book says by living set apart. Matter of fact, I've seen it all be nothing but blessings. Amazing to me. Well, if you repent of your sins, become an Israelite, then we may talk to you. How about that? That's fair, right? All right, now listen, today is going to be an educational Shabbat, okay? For all you priests of the home, okay? So you can learn something, all right? See, you made it back, huh? You said you was coming back, didn't you? Made it back, huh? Brought your family too, huh? Yep. Were they terrified? They wasn't terrified? Well, when you drive around that first corner and you see what they call the start of Pumpkin Town, that's pretty terrifying. I had people turn around and get on that road and turn. They looked, they went up, they drove halfway down, turned around, went right back. They said, these the Israelites? Woo! That's a bad, isn't it? I wonder if they let us put up a sign to say, keep going. It's a straight way. Hallelujah. All right, we're going to get some education today, okay? This Sabbath is Education and Reflection Day. The message of salvation has shifted over the centuries. And the reason why we need to go over this is because if you don't comprehend and understand about having a personal relationship with the Father, you ain't going to get nothing out of it. You don't grow in grace and grow in knowledge if you don't spend no time with Him. This is not the type of program that you can, if I can use those words and be pure, where you put in little and expect a lot out of it. You couldn't keep me out of the books, the concordances, the dictionaries. When y'all first filled me with the Ruach, man, Sister Carol will tell you, I had that whole living room. I'd fall asleep. I wouldn't even come to bed. I'd fall asleep right there in that chair. And then wake up and do the same thing. Go get a shower, come right back down, do it again. That's how I spent I know for sure my first 3 years. Because I was so upset of being lied to, I said, well, I know one thing, I won't lie to me. And as I gained and grown in grace, grow in knowledge, is that right? I start going question these preachers, and then they start speaking in tongues. And then they give you an answer that they learned from school. And I say, that ain't what the book says. Here, I'll show you exactly what it says. Why? Because, I'm a husband, I'm a father. Man, I want to lead my family the right way. You understand what I mean? I done had a taste of the world. Ain't nothing out there but death. That's all it is. Nothing but death, and everybody think they something. Ain't nothing. Buried just like many of you, many of cousins. I've been to many of funerals. For a while, there was like one every month, wasn't it, Carol? One every month. I'm not going to keep driving up and down this road coming to funerals. They dead and gone anyway. Everybody bad. Yep, bad is in the ground. Amazing, isn't it? But over the centuries, this message of salvation has shifted. In the 16th century, the reformers' focus was just only on salvation. I'm not saying that ain't important because it's very important. But how you make that the only focus of the message when there's so much more involved? Think about it before you start. Even these people who profess themselves to be Israelites, they dead too and powerless. They ain't find me an Israelite camp out there that cast out devils and heal in his name. Show me one. Show me one that have miracle signs and wonders. You see what I'm saying? What I'm doing is making a boast in y'all. People come here in wheelchairs and leave without them. People come here with their legs born from birth 3 to 4 inches short and leave with them the same length. People come here oppressed, depressed, obsessed, sick, diseased, and leave here healed. Some of them get healed as they go. Is that not what the book says? So the question is, why ain't it happening today? That should be the real question. Because we done been filled up with enough sermons. We can preach better than the preacher. We done had enough of that cock and bull out main stuff. I'm serious, for real. When Yahshua was about his father's business, he said that he had a purpose. Matter of fact, John on the Isle of Patmos said, for this purpose was the Son of Yah manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. And every message today is about salvation and no destruction of the works of the devil. Am I on point? Think about it. No, none of them is about any destruction. We had war. Ephesians 6:12 says, for the weapons of our warfare. No, it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. Who's wrestling against the principalities? Nobody. Be it Israelite camps, Hebrew roots, Messianics, Christians. Got a few of them that'll do it that outdo them. Very small remnant. In other words, as a whole, all of us who profess Christ, profess the Messiah, there ain't many of us that is really, truly doing the work of the kingdom. Huh? Did he not tell Peter, he said, I'm going to give you the keys of the kingdom. What is those keys? Whatsoever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever you loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. Where's it at? Change the message, change the people. And just because you're born again, you don't stop there. You've got a new man, just like a brand new baby that has to be fed. And he's fed. He started off fed with that milk of the word. Most of you don't spend no time in the word. You can tell your lifestyle or your mindset reflects it. You ever see a woman when she spends time with the one she loves? Look at him. Look at him. Wives, don't you send signals to your husband when you sexually frustrated? You don't say nothing. You start slamming stuff, forgetting stuff, and burning the eggs and the bread, and he can't discern what's going on. And you spend a little time with me. Get finished, she all happy. I never mind. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. Change the message, change the people. The message has been changed. Everybody go read all these loaders, reformers. Yeah, they reformed you all right. To another message. Relegated you to Team Satan. To where you're not even opposing the kingdom. But you're religious. You got that down packed. See what I'm talking about? And we have not recovered from that shift. The true message of the gospel has been altered. And when you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, or Matthew, Marcus, Lucas, Johanna, and Acts, or Messiah, look at this. The first century voices are entirely different from our colonizers. Different. They preach Messiah, Christ, more as Christus Victor. You understand that? It was because Yahshua's death on the tree. It was because of Yahshua's resurrection from the dead. It was because of Yahshua's ascension that he has won the victory over the strong man, the devil. It was because of this victory. Victory in his name. So if you say you know his name yet you don't have power, then your theology needs to be re-examined. Not only is there forgiveness of sin and reconciliation to Yah, resulting in eternal life if you continue in the way, but there's also power over sickness, disease, demons, devils, and damnation. See, this is part of the message. This part of the message is not talked about much at all. Totally ignored. Let's go read Acts 5:12. And by the hands of the apostles were some signs, no signs, and wonders. See the reason why they didn't have so much trouble back then? Because they are just coming right off of being taught by the Messiah himself. And that drew many people. What did the religious system and the secular system do? Wanted to put these people to death. The religious system influenced the secular system because the religious system didn't have any power. They didn't have any authority. They had become so tyrannical against the early assembly that they drove our people into caves, drove them into homes, drove them into exile out of the public view. While they kept the masses coming to their synagogues. This making sense? You don't see the contrast today? You don't see it. And then look what Yah does. He ends up reconciling you to him, and he tells you to come out. You hear the voice of the Ruach. You obey him. And then that same people who's been influenced by the same system, the first thing they do is try to come against you to keep you into that system. To keep you free from Yah. Think about that for a second. The only thing we're trying to do is just really truly walk closer to him. To be more and more like him. When the apostles, when the prophets, when the prophets got killed, do you think they got killed because they talk like these regular preachers you hear today? Or they got killed because they were antagonizing folks the way I talk? In other words, you got to have the anointed ability to piss people off. People can lie on you all day, and you're fine with them lying on you. I ain't no big deal. Tell the truth. I've seen some bizarre behaviors when you tell the truth on somebody. It's like they try to cover it up so bad they didn't want it to be the truth. Why did all those prophets get stoned by their own people? Moses said, I wish that all of y'all's people were prophets so that they would be able to understand and comprehend. Wouldn't all the people would get together and be just like him and want to be just like him then? Isn't that the sentiment? It seems like that's the way we want to be. Think about that today. Same persecution still going on today. It's just that the laws of the land, a long, long time ago, you know, they passed over in Constantine to you can't beat them, join them. The more the people was getting martyred, the more people getting persecuted, the more people kept coming, even though death was on the ticket. They weren't like us today. Man, can you imagine? What if a contingency came in here right now? And they come in here with every type. First of all, they come in firing up and kill a few people to get your attention. Now, you know what's going to happen here, right? They come in and start shooting, there's going to be a return fire, and we all going to die. They already know there's going to be a return fire in this place. But if you got picture them going out to any other Israelite camp that don't have the Ruach. See, they're not coming in here to persecute us for Christ. They're coming here because they hate us. And hate us without a cause. Because we live a quiet and peaceful life. We don't do nothing to nobody. We don't bother nobody. Everybody always bothering us. And the only reason why they bother and troubles us because our very existence condemns. Let your light so shine before men. You see how we told you it's going to be educational this morning, all right? But all they got to do with some of you is put a gun to your head and a pork chop sandwich, and you'll give up Christ. You'll rationalize it because of the Christianity that's been imposed on you. And somehow all of a sudden you'll get a revelation. That ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, you won't read the Apocrypha because they have done duped you into believing that they are not obtained in the Scripture because they hadn't been canonized. Well, they were canonized. It's just that somebody moved them. And you see all the testimonies of these people, Israelites, accepting death rather than eating a pork chop sandwich. It's easy to talk tough when the heat ain't on you. They were so convicted about obeying the law of Yah. And what has this system done? He's done away with. You don't have to obey Yah's law, but obey man's law. Got it backwards. Showing up backwards. Isn't that right? You see the mindset though? What do you think is going to happen when the mark does come? It's coming. It's coming. I had somebody try to convince me years ago, the mark of the beast is Social Security number. I said, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. I said, the Bible don't say it's Social Security number. Well, it speaks in code. See, because if you can memorize Social Security number, that means it's in your mind. It's written in your head. I say, you about stupid. Are you out of your mind? He said in your right hand on your forehead, but man, you ought to see, that's what I'm talking about. See, it's people like you. Somebody going to believe that idiocy. And then they're going to end up in the same condition you are. But there ain't nothing new. Has there not always risen up people that lead people astray? And by the hands of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought by the people. And they were all with what? Something we having difficulty doing today. In Solomon's porch. See, healing and miracles are part of the good news of the kingdom. They are an expression of the message if the real gospel is being taught. So we got to focus here. Y'all focus here because I need your minds in the message today, okay? Remembering this mighty act. See, Israel, if you want your faith increase, you're going to have to study. I haven't known anything to grant you more anointing than actually reading the Bible. Fasting, you can feel and get some power out of that. But when you immerse yourself in that book, it's like the Holy Spirit becomes one with you. I ain't talking about I purpose to read me a chapter of the Bible every night before I go to bed. That ain't immersing. That's just like reading the cartoons. Y'all better hear me. The Most High mighty acts, knowing these are the key to knowing his ways and learning his ways. His ways are higher than our ways. You can have as little or as much of Yah that you are willing to invest in him. When we read about these parables, it's all about how much time they're investing in what he has already given them. The talents is all about how much time they invested in increasing what he had already given them. That's why it says grow in grace, grow in knowledge. You get that? See, spending time with him is the only way to have your minds transformed and renewed. Let's go over here to Tehillim 71, start at verse 16 from the Scriptures version. Listen real close. I come in the might of the Master Yahweh. I make mention of your righteousness, yours alone. Elohim, you have taught me from my youth. See, we can't say that because we've been scattered, exiled and stuff, and now we're part of this remnant that's coming together. You get it? You have taught me from my what? From my youth. And to this day, I declare your what? In other words, we're supposed to live our lives as a testimony when we're talking about this message, declaring the wondrous works of Yah and what he's doing in our lives. Not something he done 20 years ago. Give us something recently he done so we'll know that he's still alive. Huh? Give us something so we'll know he's still the same yesterday, today, and forever. See, that's the whole purpose of here is to increase your faith, to let you know that you can do like the early disciples did. We want you to oppose Satan's kingdom, but you better get ready. He don't like people that oppose his kingdom. Get ready for a fight. That's the reason why most people don't oppose, because they don't want to fight, even though they're already being fought against. How you like that for English? I declare your wonders. And also when I am what? Old and gray. When I would read this a long time ago, I would look in the mirror, I go, I ain't old and gray. Boy. Man, yeah, surprise, surprise. That's why you cut all yours off, because you don't want everybody to know how old you are. When I'm old and gray, it's coming. Sure as day is long, it's coming. But look what happens when you're old and gray. Oh, Elohim, providing that you did this from your youth up, though. Do not forsake me. When I'm old and gray. Until I declare your what? Strength to what? When you get old and gray, that's the whole purpose of you being old and gray, is for you to impart in the generation coming after you. You want to tell a story? Don't sit down and tell these young boys about how many women you had in your life. Old fool. Impart something about Yah to them. Something that's going to carry them. Oh, hallelujah. Isn't that amazing? Y'all know what I'm talking about, young boys, man. Oh, you got these old fool, gray-headed men, they just talk to you about stupidity of life. When we get old and gray, we ask y'all not forsake us until I declare your strength to a generation and your might to all those who are come to. Who are to come. You get that? In other words, your day is supposed to be filled with telling the generation, man, you know how many stories I can tell? I can get a chair right here, right now, and sit down, and we could be here till midnight. I can tell you about the mighty works of Yah and what he has done. And even bring verified witnesses. Glory to the King. See, that's supposed to be our testimony. After all this life of living this, we're supposed to have a story to tell. A convincing story. For your righteousness, O Elohim, is most high. You who have done what? Great deeds. Who's doing it? Yeah, he's doing it, but he got to have you to do it. He ordained that he is going to make a prophet called Elijah. Elijah was going to stand in his stead, but Elijah knew the power came from Yah. Just like we do. You get it? O Elohim, who is like you? Nobody. I remember the what? Of Yah. You hear that? That's why we keep talking about his wondrous works, because you know what it does? For the people who don't have faith, it helps them to build up faith. Now you see the reason why there ain't no healing in these mausoleums called churches? They ain't got no testimony. What's the testimony? Well, I went to the doctor. Told me I had sickle cell anemia. I went to the doctor, told me I had diabetes. If you think you got diabetes, why go to the doctor and get it diagnosed? Well, I got to know. For what? So you can die faster? Because you ain't going to do nothing about it righteously unless you have the keys to the kingdom. Am I making any sense? But if you had the tools and stuff, at least, hey, I tell you one thing, man. Well, I went to the doctor, got cancer. Well, everybody here got cancer working in them, whether you know it or not. Are you dying? You got cancer. Oh, you're speaking a curse on us. That's the type of system. I'm serious. It's crazy. But why go? Because the only thing they're going to do is fill you up with fear. They're going to tell you you're going to get your hair cut off. You got to go get irradiated. You got to get your immune system destroyed in order to kill the cancer. And even if the cancer so-called stopped, they say, oh, it's in remission. Remission? I thought you said it was done. No, it's in remission. You mean tell me it can come back? Yep. Yep. It can come back. What? We've had people come here with cancer and come back with doctor's verification of a clean bill as if they never had it. Glory be to Jesus. Hallelujah. Glory to Jesus. Isn't that beautiful? See, what we do is we testify that he's still alive. We testify that he lives. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. He ain't some fictitious being way off in a wild blue yonder. He's nigh you even in your mouth. Hallelujah. And he say only just for the preachers and the teachers and the deacons and not everybody that's a believer. See, remember the deeds of Yah. For I remember your what? Wonders of old. See how David talked? I shall meditate on all your what? What do you think on today? Think about it. What is your time consumed with today? And talk of your what? Deeds. Listen, it's not enough to say I've been around the power of Yah. I've seen many that simply would not invest in Yah with their lives. I have. Psalm 77 verse 13. Your way, O Elohim, is in set apartness. Who is a great El like Elohim? You are the El who does what? I mean, David thought that was pretty important. You have made known your strength among the what? Are y'all beginning to get it? Every single time we see a miracle perform or deliverance take place, That Yah's making his strength known among his people. Why do you think I constantly talk about all that he has done? Constantly keep talking about it. Psalm 71 verse 15. By your arm you have redeemed your people, the sons of Jacob, and yourself. Shelah. Psalm 78 verse 1. Give ear, O my people, to my what? Over in Apocrypha, over in Maccabees, you see people dying to keep the law. Now they have created a system and have flabbergasted the whole world to say you have to obey man, but you don't have to obey Yah. Think about that. I've heard it twice this week. Couldn't believe it. I heard it twice this week from the government. Jeff Sessions was one of them. You know, in the Bible, in the book of Romans, the 13th chapter, it says, obey the government. I go, God, look at this. And all the Christians says, amen, amen, because it is ordained of God. What? Okay, so y'all's got laws, but we don't have to keep them, though. They done away with. That is nonsensical. That don't make no sense at all. Then they have found out a theological way to strip the word from you and make you feel like you're condemned for actually being obedient to the law of Yah. Have you read Psalms 119 to see how great love David had for the law? If you can read Psalms 19 and not shed a tear, you got problems. I don't care if you read it 100 times. Something going to take place. You connected with him, you're going to be, Sorry, every once in a while I have a moment. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to my word, to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known of our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, showing to the what? Generations to what? Come. Praises of Yahweh and his strength and his wondrous works that he have done. For he have established a testimony in who? Jacob. And appointed a law in what? Which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their what? If you don't teach your children, the world will teach them. That the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born. Who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in Yah, and not forget the works of Yah, but keep his commandments. Now think about this. Christianity is the largest religion in the whole world. Is that correct? Is that a remnant? Islam is running a close second, getting ready to overtake it. Is that a remnant? None of it don't obey to come out of her, my people, and come out from among them and be ye separate. See, we don't like to know that our mama, our daddy, our grandchildren, and whoever else, all our family members is in part of the deceived system. When he's telling you to come out from among her, he ain't telling you to come out of the world. You're in the world, but you're not of the world. You got to come out of something. When you go read Revelations 18, he's telling you what to come out of. If a mother has daughters, and she is the mother of harlots, that means the daughters of harlots. Does that make sense? And he says, wherefore come out from among them, my people. Over in Revelation, he says, you need to come out so that you do not be a partaker of their plagues. The churches ain't going to tell you to come out because if you have to come out, who are you going to come out from? Come out of the world? It don't teach that. You got to come out of something. You got to come out of them. That's why you'll never hear them preach a message of coming out of her. Making sense? Listen, and learn from this next scripture. You hear me? Psalm 78, verse 8. And might not be as their a what? And a rebellious what? A generation that what? Is that you? And whose spirit was not what? You ain't got enough discernment today to look out among you and tell people who fit this bill nowadays? The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of Yah and refused to walk in his law. And they forgot his works. And his what? See, if you remember his works, you remember his wonders, that way if the enemy or somebody comes spitting in your ear, tempting you to turn back, you're going to, wait a minute, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Straightway is just a name of the ministry that we, matter of fact, me and Brother Shane was trying to come up with a name. I said straightway, and he says, yeah, straightway. And we both look at each other, yeah, straightway. He goes, yeah, straightway. And we both look at each other, we're saying straightway, but we still ain't connecting somehow. Because one of us is spelling it one way, and the other of us is spelling it another. And then we sing straightway, where he said S-T-R-A-I-T-W-A-Y. Yeah, straightway. Ah, never mind. Never mind. You remember that, Brother Shane? How many ways can you spell straightway? Spell two, Doc. Yeah, two. Spell two, Doc. What good is it to be a doctor? I'm asking you to spell two and you can't spell two. See what I mean? It's confusing, isn't it? That's the system that we're in. You got 3 different ways you can spell two. And plus one way to show it. So when you say spell two, that's a setup from the beginning. Which one? We got to continue to keep declaring his wondrous works that he had showed them. Do you see how important Yah's law is? The 16th century church fathers have all but been agents of Satan. The religion of Christianity is a tool for Satan to deceive the very elect. Listen to this grace Paul spoke about. Now, y'all know that the word Gentiles is what they say a race. There's no such thing as a race. Y'all hear me? There ain't no such thing as no race. When you read the Bible, everybody is dealt with by nationality, not a race. All right? Same habit that is a tribe, specifically a what? Foreign Israelite. A foreign non-Israelite. It says Jewish in the Strongs, but I put Israelite. One, usually by implication, what? Gentile, heathen, nation, people. You get that? So listen very carefully. Romans 15, verse 4. Because every place that you see the word Gentile is speaking about a foreign, a Gentile, a heathen, nation of people. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and what? Comfort of the what? Might have what? Now I say that Jesus Christ was a minister of the circumcision for the truth of Yah to confirm the promises made unto the fathers. And that the what? Gentiles might glorify Yah for his what? So why in the hell would you want to listen to somebody tell you that Gentiles ain't got no chance or even no opportunity for salvation? They got a whole passage right here to show you. You can just go to this chapter by itself. As it is written. Oh, as it is written. No, yeah, as it is written. Therefore I will give thanks unto thee, O Yah, among the heathen. Heathen is the word goy. Is that right? foreign nation, hence a Gentile, heathen nation people. Is that right? And sing praise unto thy name. So that's where it's written. For this cause I will confess to thee among the what? So Israelites will be confessing Yahshua, Yah among the Gentiles. And sing unto thy name. Is that making sense? And again, he said, rejoice ye what? Heathen, foreign, pagan nation. With his what? You get it? So what does the Torah say? If you're a Gentile, and then you come into this covenant, you receive his laws, statutes, and commandments, you end up becoming one as born in the land. So you no longer call yourself a Gentile. I don't give a damn what your flesh look like. See, that's the key. See, what Solomon made his mistake was he wouldn't check all these foreign wives coming in. He wouldn't let them build their temples and idols and groves and everything else. Trouble we have today is that when people come over from paganism, i.e. Christianity and all these other false religions, they don't want to change their dress. They don't want to change their walk and their way. They want to keep the way of the pagan and be an Israelite, and you can't do that. We're different people. Does that make sense? And it says, he said, rejoice ye Gentiles with his people. And again, praise Yahweh all ye Gentiles, and laud him all ye people. And again, Elias saith, well, what did Elias say? And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles, but over in the, it's amazing, because when you get over in the Old Testament, when it says 1471 for Gentiles, it's the word heathen. So they intermingle the word Gentiles, goy, or heathen. 1 minute Gentile, next minute is heathen. Next minute is heathen, next minute is Gentile. Just goy. You get it? The Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be what? Glorious. And again, Elias says, there shall be a root of Jesse, and he shall rise to reign over the what? Gentiles, and in him shall the what? Gentiles trust. Now, the Yah of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that ye may what? Abound in what? Through the what? Of the what? Why ain't that talked about today then? How can you abound in hope if you don't never even see the works of the Holy Spirit? If you're not doing the works of the Holy Spirit? You're not going to be able to produce and do the works of the Holy Spirit unless you spend some time with him. You can forget it. I mean, there's an old adage that says, much is given, much is what? You can't have one talent given to you and sit on it and then expect a lot back. Does that make sense? And I myself also persuaded of you, my brethren, that ye also are full of what? Goodness, filled with all, able also to admonish what? Nevertheless, brethren, I have written the more boldly unto you in some sort, as putting you in mind, because of the grace that is given to me of Yah. Look what he says, that I shall be a minister of Jesus Christ to the what? The heathen. Ministering the gospel of Yah, that offering up of the Gentiles might be acceptable, being sanctified by the what? All you got to do is go read Acts chapter 11. It gives you the confirmation when Peter went there to the Jerusalem council. They said, man, you don't went in and ate with people of another nation. He said, man, what am I going to do? They got the same Holy Spirit we got. You see that? And then you know what they say? Then also Yah have granted salvation unto eternal life to the Gentiles. You get it? I have therefore whereof I may glory through Jesus Christ in those things which pertain unto Yah. For I will not dare to speak of any of those things which Christ have not wrought by me, to make the Gentiles obedience by word and what? Though Through what? So Gentiles come obedient by word and deed through what? Look at this, look at this. For I dare not to speak of those things which Christ have not wrought by me, to make the what? Obedient by the word and what? Through. Don't the Gentiles seek out the sign? The Greeks? By the what? Of the Spirit of Yah, so that from Jerusalem and round about unto Iconium, I have fully preached the gospel of Christ. See, you cannot get around the fact that signs and wonders follow. Not if you're a real believer. You can't get around it. Matter of fact, you should want to come to it even more so. That's what you should want to do. You should be longing for it. True believers in the Messiah. The works testify who we are. The Christian Gentiles changed the message over the centuries. Jesus Christ as victor over sickness, disease, and demons. To this is what it is. See, this was the first message. Jesus Christ, Yahshua HaMashiach, he was the victor over sin, disease, and demons. You get it? To this Jesus right now, to the one that saves from hell and the author of eternal life. But this one don't have any power over sickness, diseases, and demons. You know why? Because his people ain't declaring it. You can only declare what you have. Y'all want to see the true translation of Romans 15, verse 19? I actually took the painstaking task this morning, went through line by line every Greek word from the original. And it says this: through power, signs and wonders, by the power of the Spirit of Yah, so that from Jerusalem and circle around Iconium, I have completely fulfilled the good news of victory of the Messiah. Now, when I read stuff like that, I go through it. It took me a while to translate this thing. And I'm sitting up and looking at this thing and say, why come they just couldn't write it like that? I mean, all this other stuff. Man, come on, man. Let me go back here. I'm going to show you how confusing this is. Man, look. For I will not dare to speak of those things which Christ have not wrought by me. I'm like, that sounds like a bunch of damn double talk. It's a good thing I understand what he's saying, or at least what the translator trying to say. This right here made a whole lot more sense. Now that was verse 18. Here's 19. Through mighty signs and wonders by the power of Yah, so that Jerusalem and round about unto Iconium I have fully preached the gospel of Christ. Here it is in the translation right here. Through power and signs and wonders, by the power of the Spirit of Yah. By the power of who? So that from Jerusalem and a circle around Iconium, I have completely fulfilled the good news of victory of the Messiah. That means I did the work. I've done the work. Why can't we just get a book written like this? Do I have to write the Bible too? If I do that, I ain't going to have time to do nothing. Listen, what this is saying is that if there's anyone proclaiming, preaching the real message of the Messiah, signs and wonders are to accompany the message. The word and the power simply work together. So don't go out there on those street corners if you ain't going to heal the sick, cleanse the leper, raise the dead, and cast out devils. You're wasting your time. And all you people out there, a bunch of fools sitting there listening to them, preaching a condemnation message. I don't care who it is. It's a waste of time. If these both are not present, then you are listening to someone that has their own agenda. Brother Shane, get 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 8, start at verse 18. Are y'all doing all right? Yes, sir. Y'all comprehend and understand this? Yes, see, you get the mind right, then you can go forward in righteousness. Your mind ain't right, you can't go forward because you don't have any marching orders. Let me see. The word says, blessed are those which hunger and thirst after. You too hungry for everything else. Think about that for a second. If you put anything before everybody else, I mean before the Yah, you wasn't around when I was burning the oil years ago. Uh-oh. Oh, you can tell what I was doing. Look at the work of the ministry. Now, let's see what you're doing. This is how the apostles tested and proved each other to see if you were really in the faith or not. You had people rising up, claiming themselves to be something, using sorcery. You didn't read about it in the book of Acts. Only come to find out, they end up getting rebuked by the apostles. You get it? In other words, there's a lot of pretenders out here today. There are a lot of imposters out here today that are claiming to be Israelites and are not. I know them which say that they are Jews. That's what the translation says. And are not. You follow me? Oh, you get it? We want to just liken it only to the people over there occupying the land of Israel. Huh? But we know that word Jews is a what? There wasn't no such thing as no Jews. To say it's Jews, that means that all the Jews are one tribe. And there are 12 tribes of Israel. And the proper translation is we know them who say that they are Israelites. And they are not, but they are the synagogue of Satan. How you know they are the synagogue of Satan? Because they don't oppose Satan. Does this make any sense? Any sense whatsoever at all? Satan cannot cast out Satan. And every kingdom divided against itself, it cannot stand. Does this make sense? Show me your faith without works. I'll show you my faith by my works. And all I'm doing is quoting scripture. Just quoting the letters, what the way the apostles wrote it. Y'all begin to see this? You got to be more hungry for this than your own bread. This has got to be more important to you than anything in the world. Does this make sense? Don't expect for y'all to grant you a miracle or anything or any power when you don't put nothing in. You like the hypocritical fool that put in 2 minutes and expect the mountain to move. I mean, Daniel could sit and pray 21 days. You pray one time and you expect to be moved. Y'all listening? Read, Brother Shane.
Forasmuch
Uh-huh.
as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things.
Y'all get that? You are not redeemed with corruptible things. You are not purchased with corruptible things that is going to rust and the moth is going to take over. It's going to be destroyed. Come on.
As silver and gold from your vain conversation.
From your what kind of conversation?
Vain.
So don't tell me I'm getting all over people when you listen to what Peter is saying. He's saying your conversation is vain. So get upset at him. Why? You know you ain't going to get upset at him because it don't do you no good. He gone. You have to have a live animated figure in front of you so that y'all can see the manifestation of your heart. It ain't making any sense. He got to see what's going to rise up in you. So when we go read this, we see even how he talked back then. Your empty, wasteless conversation. All your words that are full of nothing. Just hot air. Read on.
From your vain conversation.
Also your wicked lifestyle. Come on.
From your vain conversation received by tradition from your fathers.
Y'all hear that? How many of y'all received a tradition of Christianity by your fathers? And even your wicked fathers call themselves Christians and they weren't even faithful in going to church. Hypocrites. And all you did was kept the hypocrisy going. You don't see how you should be grateful and thankful that y'all took you out of that mess? Huh? He's the only one that can open up your understanding. He's the only one to give you the eyes to see and the ears to hear. The only one. Come on.
But with the precious blood of Christ.
That's what you were redeemed by. The precious blood of Christ. Read on.
As of a lamb without blemish and without spot, who verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world.
He was what?
Foreordained.
Foreordained before the
foundation of the world.
There was something already taking place well before the foundations of the earth was even created. There was books already written that he came in and manifested in. You're even written in the books. You just don't even know it. We'll talk about that in upcoming months, upcoming weeks, about how you was already written about, and you can't even get the manifestation. Let me use what Christianity say, your destiny. Because you won't invest anything and you won't seek and search to bring what was written to fruition. You got to understand, you know, how many times did they make the analogy that my strength is made perfect in what? But their weakness was the weakness and not giving over to this world. Becoming weak to this world. See, Yah's way is totally different. Who in the world, how in the world you think you're going to get an answer from Yah by not eating and not drinking? Fasting. You would think, wouldn't he want me in full strength? No, because then you will glory. You would say, look what I done. That's why he says, no, my strength is made perfect in what? Weakness. When I'm weak, then I am what? Strong. See, totally opposite. You getting it? Are you hearing it? You can't be in a fullness and stature of strength and then expect anything out of Christ. You got to become weak. Why you think a lot of times he wants you to fast? You ain't never watched the children when they're on these involuntary fasts? I have a problem controlling him. Oh, yeah? Break the plate. See what happens. All of a sudden, they become docile. They listen to everything. What happened to all that fire? Oh, I know you're adult now, but you ain't that way no more. You blinded. You blinded. You're blinded. Uh-oh. Now you understand the analogy, unless you first become as a little. You get it now? And suffer not the little children, for such is the what? Kingdom of what? So you got to become a child first. Some of you grown. And you're 10 years old. Read.
But was manifest in these last times for you.
So Yahshua was manifest in these last times for what? You. Mind you, all this he had before the foundations of the earth. But he was manifest in these last times for you. To redeem you, to reconcile you, to bring you back, to purchase you back to Yah. You know the reason why? Can all you men say Adam? Yeah, that's who you are. Don't give me that arrogance. I wouldn't have done what Adam was. Adam. Adam. You know how I know you're done what Adam did? How many times have you sinned? And you ain't even sinned after the similitude of Adam. Well, he didn't have no sin. Oh, yeah, he didn't have no temptation either. The temptation was to let him know how weak he was. Hi, Adam. And all you sisters say, Eve. Look at him, and half of them didn't even say it. I ain't got to say what you say. Still Eve. Don't give me that daughter of Abraham, or daughter of Sarah mess. Until you can act like Sarah. And call your husband master. Whose daughters you are. If you're not afraid. But you got to do well. If you don't do well, you can't do it. See the spiritual implication here? I ain't calling him master. Hi, Eve. Don't give me that Sarah mess. Hi, Jezebel. Don't give me that Sarah mess. You can't line up to Sarah. I don't want to hear it. And don't tell me, okay, I'll call him master. How you doing, master? But you're saying it with your lips, but your heart is what? How many times we done that being with Yah? We honor him with our lips, but our heart is far from him. We get in there, hallelujah, praise Yah, glory to the King. That's what we do. But our heart, they profess that they know Yah, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and to every good work reprobate. See how these scriptures come to life? See how they come to life? They're a whole lot more impactful when they preach, ain't they? They don't have the same, when they're read. Huh? He give you the opportunity to get pissed off at him. Well, I ain't pissed off, y'all. I just don't like the way he talk. Say it again. Say it again. I told you, y'all knew what he was doing when he set up the preach. He set up all the preachers. So did. Yep, what they do to you, that's what they do to me. And then we will say, no, we don't. Oh, yeah, you want to bet? Yeah, I want to bet. Okay, good. I'm going to make me a body. Then I'm going to come to this earth. And I'm going to show you that there's something wrong with their hearts. Same thing they did to the prophets, they're going to do to me. And y'all prepare themselves a body. Uh-oh. He got this thing figured out. See, that's why we got to really, truly immerse ourselves in this, because that way you be more grateful, more thankful. And once you get it, y'all can entrust you to use his kingdom and the power of his kingdom righteously. Read on, Brother Shane.
Who by him do believe in Yah, that raised him up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in Yah, seeing you have purified your souls.
Stop. That's somebody who's very active. It did say, seeing that you have purified your souls. You wasn't complacent. You wasn't apathetic. Passivity didn't dominate and rule you. You became very active in purifying your what? Some of you ain't active at all. Anytime your soul want to be wicked, you give over to it. And the expression shows on your countenance. Perfect opportunity to be sanctified, but you ain't got no fight in you. Ain't got no fight in you. Are y'all hearing this? He got hope, man. Seeing you purify your souls. Read on.
Seeing you have purified your souls in obeying the truth.
In obeying what?
The truth.
All right. Come on.
Through the Spirit unto feigned love of the brethren.
Y'all hear that? Boy, ain't that a challenge. See what he's doing? He's gassing them up. You can do this. Yep, I know you purify yourself. You know why? Because I know you love the brethren. Ain't that right, sisters? Yeah, that brethren is a generic form. It means male and female in that instance. I know you done purify your souls because you love your sisters. You don't have ill will. You don't bear ill will in your hearts toward them. You don't grudge against one another. And don't take rebuke and reproof as a hatred either. That's a love. Getting quiet, isn't it? See, as long as I stay up here, I'm fine. Back there, I was up. 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 Read on.
See that you love one another with a pure heart fervently.
With a pure heart what?
Fervently.
Now, see, we want to get there, but we ain't there. I can say it just like Paul said, the more I love, the less I be loved. I'm serious. I have a great love for all of you. You just don't know. Read on, bro Shane.
Being born again.
Being what?
Born again.
Being born again.
Not of corruptible seed.
Not of what seed?
Corruptible.
Because you was already born of corruptible seed. So see what he's trying to do is trying to show you this is the path we need to be walking in. This is the way that we need to be going. And anytime your flesh has an opportunity to rise up and kick, you should automatically remember this sanctification unto this holiness, this unfeigned love for the brethren that will make you genuine overcomers. You follow me? You know, it's amazing because in the military, it's amazing training. You know, we talk about training a lot, right? Training will get you to the point. Have you ever heard of muscle memory? Muscle memory means that your muscles already remember to where your mind don't have to remember. You just know where to go and what to do. You follow me? In training, it's amazing. In a wartime environment, all soldiers, if we were in a situation where we were in a building and the team didn't see the grenade fall, you saw it fall, the soldier that saw it fall would fall on that grenade. Wouldn't think nothing about his family. Wouldn't think nothing about himself. Really? To save his buddies. Really, they're trained like that. We are literally trained like that. To give up our life for our buddies. And if you can do that for a secular source and read, why can't you do that for your Israel? Why can't you do that? Huh? I mean, you're being trained to fall on a grenade. Because you got to understand, if you're in that enclosed environment, there ain't no way out. You got 5 people over here, and you over here, and you see the grenade fall. And you ain't got time to say, you holler. You can holler. You're going to have to holler grenade to let everybody know so they'll know what to do, which they'll posture, they'll turn from it and fall. You follow me? But if you're there in order to allow all the rest of your buddies to live, somebody has got to fall on the grenade. Somebody got to lay down their life for their friends. Somebody got to do it. And that is an automatic response. Every soldier that goes to war knows full well that opportunity may come. Not thinking about themselves, not thinking about family life at home, only their buddies who are standing there in front of them. And here we are living life. And we have opportunities weekly to throw ourselves on a grenade, and we refuse to. We'd rather for the whole team to get blowed up. We'd rather for the whole thing to be destroyed than for me to lay down my life. This is what he's talking about. This is real truth. Hey, no greater love than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. We know that we have passed from death to life because we love the brethren. What kind of brother? What kind of love? Unfeigned love for the brethren. And we got to get there. See, Yahshua loves us like this, but we don't love each other like that. Uh-oh. And how can you say that you love Yah who you can't see, and your brother who you can't see? I show you a liar, and the truth is not in him. All this fight, all this conflict, all this discord. We ain't ready for tribulation. Got too much fight in us. Hallelujah. You remember when Brother Gideon was here teaching y'all movement drills? Y'all remember? The next time Brother Gideon come here, I don't care what y'all sisters doing, leave one or two people, especially sisters in the kitchen. The rest y'all need to get back out there the next time we doing drills on how to move family, because you need to see the reality of what I keep telling y'all. Brother Gideon would ask me, Pastor Dow, what do you want me to train on? I said, we need this, and we need this. Isn't it nice for me to be able to have that brother to come up here and be willing? Isn't that beautiful? You know what people saw? All the women saw that they wasn't ready. The men saw that they wasn't ready as well, because they ain't paying attention to detail, because the men, their responsibility to guard the women and the children. And when they started up that hill, I said, he ain't going up that hill. I didn't say, because Gideon can't make it up that hill. Gideon can make it up that hill. Because I know him, he's going to assess the situation, and just like I knew he would, he turned it around. You know why? Because some of you are too heavy. Some of you are having a difficult time just keeping the children to walk alone, and we didn't even go 300 meters. Imagine trying to make a movement like that over 10 or 15 miles. We got to depend on you to get down. When we say get down, we ain't talking about bend over. Get your ass down. See what I'm talking about? Yeah, you notice when it's raining, because we always say, if it ain't raining, it ain't what? It ain't training. If it don't stop, we keep going. So you need that stress of dealing with the elements. Everything ain't always going to be comfortable for you. Having brothers and sisters in the Messiah ain't always going to be comfortable to you. Living this life is not always going to be comfortable to you. But this is the way that we always should walk in, though. This is the perfection, because iron sharpeneth iron. Hallelujah. It's about a mindset. It's about your mindset. It's about laying down your life. So don't sit up and take it personally because I get on to you because you're out of shape and you can't do what you're supposed to. That's supposed to be motivation, not to be taken the evil way, but the good way. But until you get out there and experience it, and you see it all of a sudden, like, I can't believe you won't believe how many people came to me. I see what you're talking about now. I see what you're talking about now. Oh, we ain't ready. No, we ain't. Well, he gonna get us ready. How many people died in the wilderness? Oh, he got them ready. See, you need to understand his ways. His ways, not our ways. If the rest of you are ready and those of you ain't ready, you got to die, he going to let you die. You still got saved from Egypt, but you died. This making sense? Knowing his ways, not the way you perceive him to be or the way you think he ought to be. That's the sole purpose of immersing yourself in this word, so you can be conformed to this image, so you can know the mind of Yah. This making any sense? Come on, bro, Shane.
Being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of Yah, which liveth and abideth forever.
That word that liveth, abideth, and forever, it has to live and abide in you in order to be forever. You get it? If he said he ain't going to never leave you nor forsake you, that means this life and the world to come. Forever. Go to Acts chapter 8, verse 5 through 8, bro, saying. Are y'all all right? Yes, y'all getting it? Y'all getting this? See, your mind has got to be transformed. It's got to be renewed. Because we don't know him like we think we know him. We need to know his ways, not our ways. Your ways lead to death. If we know his ways, you know that's the only way we can be in one mind and a one heart and a one spirit and on one accord. So how much are you investing in trying to be like him then? Because the more you invest to be like him, the less trouble we'll have. Because then all of y'all's people would understand. Is that making sense? So if a brother or sister or somebody has to come up to you and, I mean, even, what does the book say? It gives us instruction, okay? If they reprove you, I'm going to paraphrase this, and they rebuke you and they do it unjustly and wrong, man, love enough to say, okay, brother, I got you. Let them be able to come to it. Give them an opportunity to come back to apologize. Don't sit up and make a show on the scene, acting like the Gentiles. You getting that? Why? Because, again, back to the principles of Christ. You're too strong. You're too strong. You got to get weak in order to be strong. You got too much fight in you, and you got the wrong fight in you. You save that fight for the enemy, not for your brothers. You save that fight for the goyim, not for your sisters. You save that fight for the world, not for your brothers, not for your brothers, not for the ones who's redeemed, whose names are written down in the Lamb's Book of Life. Unfeigned love for the brethren. Y'all getting this? Come on, Brother Shane.
Then Philip went down to the city of Samaria and preached Christ unto them.
Go ahead.
And the people with one accord gave heed unto those things which Philip spake, hearing and seeing the miracles.
Hearing and seeing the what?
The miracles.
That ain't nothing but deliverance. That ain't nothing but casting out devils. That's one way you can hear and see a miracle. It manifests itself. Come on.
For unclean spirits, crying with loud voice, came out of many that were possessed with him. And many taken with palsies, and that were lame were healed.
Isn't that beautiful? See, think about this, how Satan set this thing up. You got the apostles adjacent to the Messiah after he already had resurrected, right? And then after he had already ascended up into glory. They still had this power to the zenith. But what Satan has done is weaken us over the centuries. To rather than the power having a continuation to keep working, we've got to unearth and rediscover everything that's been lost. And some of us are not interested. We're too busy. The cares of this life, the cares of this world, and the lust of other things. Hearts are charged and filled up with serpentine. We're feasting at the table of those who laying down their life, becoming weak so that you can be strong. And what's killing me? To set up and question and judge, and you ain't did nothing. You got questions? I got questions for why you so lazy spiritually. That making sense? Come on, Brother Shane.
And there was great joy.
There was what?
Great joy.
See how we're going to get to great joy? Read that verse again.
And there was great joy in that city.
No, the verse before it.
For unclean spirits, crying with loud voice, came out of many that were possessed with them. And many taken with palsies, and that were lame, were healed.
And
there was great joy in that city.
Y'all get it? That's how we're going to have great joy. It's when we're doing the Father's work. The people being healed think they're happy. We want happy for them. Now listen to Moses, all right? All right? We're going to end it on this right here, but you need to listen to Moses. Because I'm looking for the same thing in this latter time. I've been doing it for years. I am seriously, sincerely looking for this. See, when I cross over that 50 threshold, I'm closer to death than I was life. I'm closer to the grave. And the reality is coming fast. It seems like the older you get, the faster time goes. And somebody got to be able to have the mind of Yah to be able to make sure that the things that you learn in this, that they don't slip. So that the generations after you and the generations after them will be told. Hey, you got to have, if Messiah don't come, you got to have another anointed one. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So let's go to Shemot 33, Brother Shane. Start at verse 5. Y'all ready? Y'all give undivided attention on this one. Undivided attention. Go ahead and read.
For Yahweh had said unto Moshe,
What did he say?
say unto the children of Israel,
Come on.
ye are a stiff-necked people.
You are what kind of people?
Stiff-necked people.
Now, is he talking to us too? Yes, sir. Huh? You want to get offended? Want to get mad and upset now? You are stiff-necked people. I would venture to say we even more stiff-necked because we got modern-day conveniences. We're spoiled rotten. They ain't get to sit in an air-conditioned building. Carry around scrolls and lived in sealed houses. Drive automobiles and flying planes. Cook on electric ranges. Go to the grocery store instead of killing your meat for yourself and going to get in the hunt. Just go to the store and pick it up. I say we're worse off. And I also say that we ain't trying to do nothing from being worse off. Now you see the reason why a lot of us got to die? Y'all get it? I'm going to tell you right now, you dealing with the likes of myself and Brother Gideon, we the last two people that was going to have empathy and sympathy on you because sweat is running down your brow. Tell me about it. You get it? Read on.
I will come up into the midst of thee in a moment.
See, Yah said you are stiff-necked people, and I'm going to come up in the midst of you in a moment. Listen.
And consume thee. Therefore, now put off thine ornaments.
See, look what he said. First he tell you what he's going to do, then he's telling you, okay, now put off your ornaments. Put off all this pagan crap you done picked up. I mean, if y'all going to, before you're going to appear before him, you should always be clean anyway. He told Jacob over there under the oak of Shechem over there in bed of sheep 35, and they took and stripped themselves bare of all them ornaments. In other words, when you became pagans, when you got laxed in the land, when you started becoming like the people around about you. It's amazing how he always wants us ever before his face, right? And he teaches us to pray without ceasing, right? Don't he say that? Pray without ceasing. That means he always wants you clean then. Yeah, inside and out. Why? For the sole purpose that you keep yourself in the spirit, pliable, ready to receive and ready to hear of Yah. Read.
That I may know what to do unto thee.
Now, see what he's saying? Put off your ornaments, just make yourself clean. So now he's going to say, okay, now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do to you. Read.
And the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments.
Look at that. In other words, every single time we get far away from Yah, we start putting on that shit the same way thing the world does. Now here comes visitation right here. Yahweh himself. Read.
And the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by the Mount Horeb.
Come on.
And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the congregation.
Come on.
And it came to pass that everyone which sought Yah went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was...
Stop. Very key statement. Everyone that sought Yah. It didn't say that everybody. Cut Brother Shane up a little bit. Say it again, Brother Shane.
And Moses took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the congregation. And it came to pass that every one which sought Yah...
Stop. Everybody in here ain't seeking Yah. Back then, everybody wasn't seeking Yah. They were just glad to be in the number. And still died in the wilderness. I want y'all to get this. Detailed, and everyone that sought Yah. Didn't mean that everybody sought him. Read on.
And it came to pass that everyone which sought Yah went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp.
And everybody else stayed in the door of their tent. You get it? Huh? Come on.
And it came to pass, when Moses went out unto the tabernacle, that all the people rose up and stood, every man at his tent door.
See, everybody didn't go out to the tabernacle. When they saw Moses go out there, some went, some stayed. Read on. See how detailed this is? Come on.
And looked after Moses until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended.
And you know every time that happens, that means the Most High is coming down. I mean, he has to veil himself. You know what I mean? We too wicked to see him in his glory. Yeah, really, he has to always veil himself. Y'all getting this? Come on. Hey, y'all might as well get ready, because if we here, when all this going on, we're going to see a whole lot. We're going to be seeing angels go before us. We're going to be seeing a lot of stuff. Huh? Come on.
And stood at the door of the tabernacle, and Yah talked with Moses.
Y'all hear that? Why? Because he always talked to his friend. Moses didn't even have to go up to the mountain this time to get Yah to talk. Yah came down it. Come on.
And all the people saw the cloudy pillars.
You hear that? Now, when they saw that cloud descending, I wonder if those who went out to the tabernacle got a special blessing over those who stayed in the door. You know, it's a thought. You know what I mean? Come on.
And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door. And all the people rose up and worshiped.
Y'all hear that? Be you at the tabernacle or in your door. It's amazing how you got an opportunity to do right and to be right, but then you have to be humbled. See, the ones that went out to the tabernacle, they went for the worship anyway. The ones in the door, they're made to worship. I know, man. I'm telling you, it's about attitude. Your attitude. Read on.
Every man in his tent door. And Yahweh spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle.
You hear that? I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here where Moses is. When Moses went up on Mount Sinai, who was there at the bottom always waiting on him? I ain't going nowhere. Where you at? I'm in the door of my tent relaxing and reclining. Ain't that the way you do in life? Huh? Your door, your tent is your life. That ain't dedicated to Yah. Come on.
And Moses said unto Yahweh,
What did Moses say?
See, thou sayest unto me, bring up this people.
Oh.
And thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me.
Y'all hear that? You want me to bring this people up, but you have not confirmed to me who you going to have with me. Look what he's saying, though. Come on.
Yet thou hast said, I know thee by thy name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore, I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee.
Y'all hear that? Show me your way, that I may know thee. Come on.
That I might find grace in thy sight.
You hear that? I want direction.
And consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, my presence shall go with thee.
Oh, he's telling him his way, right? Come on.
And I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, if thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence.
Do what?
Carry us up not hence.
Come on.
For wherein shall it be known here that I and the people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us? So shall we be separated, I and the people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth?
In other words, if you don't go with us everywhere we go, we won't be separated from these people on earth. We might as well stay right here where we at. Come on. And most of you are glad to stay right there where you at in the door of your temple. Come on.
And Yah said unto Moses,
What did he say?
I will do this thing, also that thou hast spoken. For thou hast found grace in my sight, and
Favor.
I know thee by name.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory.
Show me a what?
Thy glory.
Come on. Man, isn't that good? So Moses was interested in the Father going before him, but he was also interested in who's coming with him. Tell me this country ain't got us so divided as a people that we can't get together and go anywhere. Come on. Most of us, even though we're going to be in tribulation, we're going to miss tribulation because we're going to be too consumed with the world. Because your heart ain't right. It ain't fixed on Yah. Y'all hearing this? Oh, yes, sir. Israel, if we are going to advance in his kingdom and amount to anything for his kingdom, there is no way around knowing his ways. No way around. So what makes you think you can argue with me, argue with the pastors and the elders when you don't know his ways? We tell you something, you look at us cross-eyed. Don't matter, we got all these decades of experience. Notice I say experience, not just being in religion. I'm talking about literal experience. Why wouldn't you want to listen? For what reason or what proof have we given you to deny? Well, they said. Well, damn, I hate to see what they said about Moses. Hey, he married that Ethiopian woman. You ever notice that they said ain't never amount to anything? Anybody who ever's been they said, you won't follow them for nothing. Amazing, isn't it? Utterly amazing. There ain't no way around knowing his ways. Read 1 John 5:14, Brother Shane. See, I'm looking for that one that's going to go with me so I can teach him. Because somebody got to be behind me after I go. Oh, hallelujah. Now, believe me, I'll know when it's him. Joshua didn't know what Moses knew, but he knew. Uh-oh. Just a different spirit. Read.
And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will.
His what?
His will.
No, notice. See, the key to all this is when you asking is to ask according to his will. Same thing that James says. See, when you ask amiss that you may consume it on your what? Own lust, but you're not asking according to his will. That's why the miracle don't come. Uh-oh. It's all there. Results. Read.
And this is the confidence that we have in him.
You hear this? This is the confidence that we have in him. Read.
That if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us.
He do what?
Heareth us.
He do what?
Heareth us.
He heareth us. He heareth us. See, you cannot co-labor with Yah in this work if you do not spend time learning his ways. You've got one life to live, Israel. One time to go this way, and every day, a day missed in this is a day squandered. He gave you 6 days to labor and do all your work and everything. Well, yeah, the Sabbath, yeah, but he didn't tell you to lay down on your morals and not give him no time. Because the Shabbat alone ain't enough time. That's a rest day. They ain't enough to learn and know of his ways. Hallelujah. That's just the truth. Now, there's another spiritual dynamic that says, whatever you do in secret, I'm going to reward you in the open. What is the reward in open? To know that you're being used of Yah. Huh? Because there's another principle too. And that other principle is before honor, what? Humility. Because Yah resist the proud, but give what? Grace unto the humble. You don't believe how many people think that I'm so, yeah, he's a proud man. You don't know me. I often say to him, if I'm so proud, I say, why y'all use me, he don't use you then. It's amazing, isn't it? Because he ain't going to have no proud, arrogant, so-called preacher coming up in front of him with talent and think that he's going to be used of him. He ain't that fool. Oh, hallelujah. Told you we're going to be in school this morning, education. Y'all get anything out of this? Learn anything? Get the spirit of that mind rolling and toiling. A good spiritual food. Glory to the King. All it is about having a made-up mind. You get plenty of time for yourself and stuff, but I tell you what, y'all hates a false balance. Y'all hates a false balance. Got to be ready. Got to be ready. When I have to tear out of here, not because I'm preacher. I don't get no special privileges because I'm preaching. You follow me? I got to meet the conditions just like everybody else does. He is no respecter of person. Got to be ready. You follow me? You got to be ready too, Israel. Hallelujah. Glory to the King. Let us stand. That's a powerful message right there, man. Get that brain going right there now. Huh? Most High, but Yah, you alone are worthy of all praise, glory, and honor. We only pray that these sayings will sink deep down in our hearts. We truly want to learn your ways and know your ways. And you have set this before us, this table, you have prepared for us to be able to receive you. You know those of us who are at the tabernacle and those of us who are in the door of our tents. Either way it goes, reveal it, make it known, Father. Make it known and give protection to those who have sought for your will and way to be done above all. We ask your blessings upon all the Israelites, all the saints that are out here listening, be it here or on the other side of the camera, Father. Bless them, their hearing and in their ears, to bring a performance in the magnificent name of Yahshua, Jesus Christ, so that by the power of the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, we can continue to draw more people to your kingdom. We bless you for all things in the magnificent name of Yahshua. Hallelujah. Shabbat shalom, Israel. King coming.